check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation. October 28th, 2024. It's week 8 of the NFL season, and we head to Pittsburgh for this Monday Night Football battle between the New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think it's outlandish to say that this season hasn't exactly gone according to plan for the G-Men, as they sit at 2-5 and are dead last in the NFC East. Their season is on the line with this game. If you win it in front of a national TV audience and get to 3-5, alright, you at least give yourself a fighting chance in the ultra-competitive conference. Lose this game, lose your third straight, and drop to 2-6, you're done. Simply put, you're done. If you can't beat one of the best teams in football, and you can't beat the second best defense in the league, you're screwed. So you're going to have to play a near flawless game in order to salvage whatever you have left of your season. The Giants did not do that. They most definitely did not do that. But before we talk about how they didn't wind up doing that, if you like learning more about the history of the NFL, both in terms of the 2024 season and seasons from the past, then this is the place for you, because we talk about all things NFL history all the time with a new video every single day on this channel. So if you like that sort of stuff, then be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. So far, the game had not gone according to plan for New York, as with the Giants down 23-9, having not scored a touchdown in what felt like forever, time was running out for them in what was an extremely sloppy affair. However, the tide might have been beginning to change, as following a 45-yard touchdown run by Tyrone Tracy, the rookie running back who's been one of the only bright spots for the Giants all season, the Giants now found themselves only trailing 23-15. They have two options here: kick the extra point and make it a 7-point game, or go for 2 down by 8 and try to make it a 6-point game, knowing that even if you miss, it's still a one-possession game. This is a decision that can go either way, and Brian Daboll decides to go for 2 and cut it to 6. As for the play he draws up,
one is eligible. Here is a throw to Neighbors, and Highsmith came right through that play.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this could possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of New York Giants head coach Brian Daboll. Earlier in the week, it was announced that Daboll was going to be safe for another season and would be returning to coach the Giants in 2025. And I feel as though Daboll took that announcement and took that news and just thought he was invincible and had the green light to do whatever the heck he wanted, because otherwise, he wouldn't have dialed up whatever the heck this play was. I've criticized Daboll before for his in-game management skills, and you can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. But this was, by far, his funniest gaffe as the head coach of the Giants. This might be one of the funniest two-point conversion attempts that I've ever seen, and for all the wrong reasons if you're a Giants fan. So with that being said, let's take a look at why calling whatever this was, where you have 3 on the line, is a really bad idea. And I want to make something clear before going any further. This was a case of the New York Giants going for 2 down by 8 points instead of kicking the extra point. I have no problem with that. There are analytics out there that say that this was the right move. I've done a video on going for 2 down by 8 and the entire history of teams to try something like this, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. In terms of why teams do it, the odds are in your favor that you will convert a 2-point try, and you're more likely to make it than miss it, even if it is by a few percentage points. If you make the first 2-point try, now all you need is a touchdown with the extra point, and you take the lead. If you miss the first 2-point try, the odds are still in your favor on the second one, so this banks on the idea that you won't miss on 2 straight 2-point attempts. The odds that you take the lead are better than the odds that you trail. I will never do a dumb decisions video on that or an in defense sub episode on that, although I might update the video after the season ends. But just know that going for 2 down by 8 is not the reason that I'm doing this video on Dable. Instead, I'm doing this video because, well, look at this. I mean, come on! What the heck is this? It's like if in baseball prior to the rule changes, you call a shift. I'm not going to make a dumb decisions video on you for shifting. But if your shift involves literally no one covering first base, to the point where literally any ball in the field of play will result in the runner reaching because you have no one on first, of course that's going to look stupid. And this formation looks freaking stupid. And look, on one hand, I completely get why the Giants felt the need to try something absolutely insane like this. The Giants have attempted 3 2-point conversions on this year, and they're 0 for 3 on them. Granted, one of them came with Daniel Jones just taking a knee during the game against the Seattle Seahawks, so I'm not going to count that, because that was by design, and they were not trying to get 2 points there. But still, the Giants are 0 for 2 on 2-point tries that they actually tried on. In 2023, the Giants tried 3 passing plays on the 2-point conversion, and they were 0 for 3 on them. The only successful 2-point conversion they had last year was a Saquon Barkley Wildcat run. So dating back to the end of the 2022 season, when the Giants try a 2-point conversion and the quarterback touches the football, they're 0 for their last 7 prior to this game. Might as well try something else, right? But to do this? I mean, my God, when have you ever seen a play like this work at the NFL level? It looks too stupid to believe that it's real. I don't need to tell you why having 3 on the offensive line and calling a play like this is a really bad idea. You have eyes, you can see it for yourself. So I'm just going to let head coach Brian Dable explain what he was thinking with this decision and explain why he called this play. Because yes, it was entirely by design. Take a listen.
Brian, what happened on the 2-point conversion? It seemed like the timing was all messed up.
Yeah, Motor was, so we've been working on that for a while. Motor was actually checking with the official to make sure that he was on the line of scrimmage, and Daniel saw the look that we needed to get to, where we were just going to throw the ball out there to Malik. We had a bunch of blockers, but he was talking to the official when Daniel snapped it and threw it out there, and they only had 2 guys out there, and the guy blew by him.
What did you see in the front? Though it seemed like nobody moved.
Yeah, he snapped. I mean, because he snapped it quick. He saw the look. They were getting set. We weren't set, and the one guy that was out there was 2 guys out there. There was a bunch of guys inside. Saw the ball being snapped and beat us to the punch.
There's a few things to break down with those comments that make Dable seem completely in over his head with a call like this. The main thing is the idea that the Giants have the numbers that they wanted, as the Steelers didn't have enough guys on that side of the ball. And yes, that is true. The Giants definitely had more guys than the Steelers did. If everyone picks up their assignment, this 2-point conversion, as it stands, is likely good. Although it would have been extremely tough for Neighbors to avoid being touched with how many guys were on that side of the field and how little space he would have had to run to the side. I suppose there is a universe where this play could have worked. However, think about what Dable said. Think about what he said. The ball was snapped too quickly because the offensive linemen on the Giants were making sure that they were set properly. Because you have to be. You have to check in with the official on a play like that. Because you have no sense of your bearings when you've never played that far outside before and that far to the boundary. It's like when you go to the bathroom in the middle of the night in a friend's place or a hotel. At home, you don't need to turn on a flashlight to figure out where you are, because you're used to it. But in an unfamiliar location, you need a guide. If the offensive lineman didn't do this, then they'd be called for illegal formation and for not having enough guys on the line, or for potentially being ahead of the football into the neutral zone. That's especially true on this day, when the referees were giving away illegal motion and illegal formation penalties, like parents on Halloween give away candy to kids coming up to their house. Now, let's assume that the offensive lineman did this. There were 23 seconds left on the play clock when Daniel Jones snapped the ball. So if we assume that the offensive lineman made sure that they were set and they took the precautionary measures necessary and the referees gave them the go-ahead, there would have been less time on the play clock. My guess is that another 5 seconds minimum would be coming off here to make sure that no one's lined up illegally. By that point, when the Giants get set, and when the Steelers realize what's happening, and make no mistake, they absolutely were realizing and shifting over to that side of the field and were realizing what was happening, guess what? The Steelers will have bodies there, and you won't have the numbers advantage. And the Steelers enter this game as the second best defense in football. They're a well-coached team. They're not dummies. Here were two of the guys with 25 seconds left on the play clock. Now, here were those same two guys with 23 seconds left, right when the ball was snapped. They sure seem to recognize what's going on and are shifting over accordingly. I'll take a wild guess and say that more Steelers would have done the same if it wasn't for the quick snap. So this play had three options. Option 1, snap the ball super early in the play clock when none of the linemen check to see if they're set, and then you're going to get called for illegal formation. Option 2, snap the ball late in the play clock so that the offensive linemen know they're set and they can get in their formation and get in their stance. But then you lose the numbers advantage. Or option 3, snap it right there and just let chaos ensue. Either way, you're going to get destroyed. Either way, this is not going to work out. There's a reason that you don't see teams trying crap like this in the NFL. There's a reason that teams haven't tried to reinvent the wheel with play calls like this one down by the goal line. If the only way for a play to work is to catch the defense napping and to not even check they are set up properly, then guess what? It's probably not a good play, and it's probably a play that belongs in the Basura. The only thing more garbage than this play in New York is Aaron Judge's play during this World Series. That's how awful this play was. And what's even more absurd about the play in the game between these two teams behind me right here is the fact that I can't even call this the dumbest play done by any team this week down by the goal line. Because on Sunday, and coincidentally, a game between a North team and an NFC East team, we saw something that rivaled this and might be even stupider. In the game between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders, the Bears were trailing by one score in the fourth quarter. And for some reason, they decided to hand the ball off down by the goal line to their offensive linemen, who had no experience running with the ball whatsoever. And the results were about exactly what you'd expect. You can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. Between this play and the Bears-Commanders play, what we are seeing down by the goal line right now is coaches reinventing the wheel for no reason whatsoever. So what did we learn from all of this? NFL teams should not be running plays with three guys lined up on the main part of the offensive line. It didn't work with the New York-Washington game when Jim Zorn tried it on Monday Night Football all those years ago. It didn't work with the fake punt in the Colts-Patriots game, even if that was not intentional. And it didn't work here. Save this kind of stuff for high school and college. If the only way this succeeds is to snap the ball super early, where you might be breaking the rules in the process, then maybe it's not a good play design. Maybe a play that the players are iffy on it being legal is not a play that you necessarily want to call. 2-point conversions can be tough, but you're going to make them even tougher when calling crap like this. And if you're going to go for 2 down by 8 because of the analytics, I'm fairly confident that the analytics don't tell you to do, well, whatever the heck this play was. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.